Chapter 9. Holy Thursday Passion Service. "Mom, tell us a story about what will happen tonight in church," requested Esther as she dipped and redipped her egg, waiting for it to become a vibrant blue. "Tonight is the reading of the 12 Gospels, starting with the Last Supper," her mother began. "Jesus was celebrating Passover with his disciples." "What's Passover?" asked Maria. "It's a holiday celebrated every year by the Jewish people in remembrance of the angel of death passing over their houses during the time of Moses," explained Mother. "Tell us the story of Moses," said Esther. "You'll like this one, Maria." The Hebrews were living in Egypt as slaves. Moses tried to convince the Pharaoh, who was the king of the Egyptians, to let the Jewish people leave Egypt and be free from slavery. The Pharaoh didn't want to lose his slaves. He needed them to build his pyramids. Moses told the Pharaoh of the coming of many plagues in hopes of changing his mind. The Pharaoh didn't believe Moses until the 7th plague, when the angel of death came and killed the firstborn child of all the Egyptians. God told Moses to put a stain of lamb's blood around the door of every Hebrew house, and the angel of death would pass over them and not kill their firstborn. Pharaoh lost his firstborn son and was so upset that he let the Hebrew slaves leave. Every year, the Jewish people celebrate Passover to remember the time when the angel of death passed over them, and to remember that God answered their prayers and helped them become free from slavery. "Jesus was a Jewish person?" asked Maria in amazement. "Yes," replied Esther. "Don't you remember Mrs. Pappas telling us that in Sunday school?" "We celebrate the Last Supper every Sunday at our liturgy," said her mom. "Jesus broke bread and said, 'Take this, eat. This is my body.' Then he passed a cup with wine in it and said, 'Take this, drink. This is my blood,'" chimed in the girls. "That was the first communion," continued Mom. "Father Nick says the same words every Sunday at liturgy. On Holy Thursday, the Gospel readings tell what happened after the meal. Jesus also showed us how to love one another by serving one another. He humbled himself and washed the feet of his disciples. He told them that men would know that they were his disciples by their love for one another. Do you remember what happened next?" "I do," said Maria. "He told his disciple Peter that by the time the cock crowed, Peter would deny him 3 times. "What's a cock?" asked Esther. "It's a rooster," said Maria. "Then what happened?" Esther asked her mom. "Judas went to the high priests and asked them, 'What will you give me if I bring you Jesus?' They paid Judas 30 pieces of silver for turning Jesus over to them. After the Passover meal, Jesus went to a garden to pray. At the garden, Judas came with soldiers and betrayed Jesus by kissing him. The guards took Jesus to the chief priests, who questioned him. They then decided to kill him by hanging him on a cross. They even took him to Pilate, the Roman governor, who had Jesus stand in front of the people along with a known criminal named Barabbas. Pilate asked the people whom he should set free, and the crowd yelled back, 'Barabbas!' So the soldiers took Jesus to Golgotha and crucified him." "What happened to Judas?" asked Esther. "After he realized that he had sold Jesus for 30 pieces of silver, he went and hanged himself," said her mom.